In a speech to manufacturing industry bosses in London, the International Trade Secretary promised that the government was committed to protecting UK exporters in the Brexit negotiations with Brussels. And he said any attempt by the EU to punish Britain with tariffs or other trade barriers were bound to backfire. He said, "This government opposes erecting barriers to trade where none yet exists or disrupting the commercial relationships that exist between this country and our continental partners. If Europe erects barriers to trade and investment that do not exist today, it will make Europe less competitive in a global context and less attractive to international investors." Avalon Redrexim Fox said. The UK government opposes erecting trade barriers where none yet exist. Fox said Europe would be less competitive in a global context if it were to erect barriers. If Europe erects barriers to trade and investment that do not exist today, it will make Europe less competitive in a global context. Dr. Liam Fox. Dr. Fox said the government's Brexit legislation would enable Britain to continue the EU's trade arrangements with third countries, protecting UK exporters' access to overseas markets. He said, "It will also give us the tools we need to fight back against any unfair subsidies or dumping from abroad. We want to protect the interests of British manufacturers. We want to maintain your access to markets across Europe and beyond." His remarks were backed up by Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, who predicted trade will continue to flourish between Britain and the EU after Brexit. At Foreign Affairs Questions in the Commons, he predicted a great swollen, throbbing umbilicus of trade between the UK and EU, adding each side will be mutually nourishing the other. In his speech, Dr. Fox said, "We want to protect the interests of British manufacturing. We want to maintain your access to markets across Europe and beyond. And we want to ensure that the UK continues to attract the best and brightest talent from across the world. We are a nation of innovators. And as government and industry work together, we can build a brighter and more prosperous future for the UK and the world." Monday, February 5, 2018. Michel Barnier and David Davis head to Downing Street for lunch meeting. He added, "The United Kingdom is one of the largest manufacturing economies in the world, with nearly £270 billion in exports. Last year saw a particularly robust performance, with manufacturing growing by 2.8% compared to 1.8% for the economy as a whole. We've had the longest period of manufacturing growth for 30 years, and order books for British manufacturers are well above the long-term trend."